You are Locked On Phillies Postcast, part of Locked On Sports Philadelphia, on the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
You know what? On second thought, okay, I've given this a lot of thought. On second thought, Nick Castellanos is really the perfect two-hole hitter. When you really think about it, his hitting definitely belongs in the two-hole. Now, stay with me here. Definitely a two-hole hitter. You know what I'm saying? He kind of fits it rather perfectly. Welcome into the show. My name is Mark Farzetta. You are Locked On Phillies Postcast and the Locked On Sports Philadelphia YouTube channel, ladies and gentlemen. And this particular episode is brought to you by the wonderful people of the Game Time app. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use promo code Locked On MLB for $20 off your first purchase. That's $20 off your first purchase. And remember, terms do apply. Perhaps you want to log on to the Game Time app. Perhaps you want to be part of the party that's going on down there at Camden Yards with still yet another stadium takeover by the Philadelphia fan faithful for your Philadelphia Phillies. I love hearing that crowd. It was the number one on Three Big Things last night on the show. I could give it to him again today, but, it wouldn't be as joyous as an occasion with the Phillies taking the 6-2 loss. Nick Castellanos being terrible, really the top of the order being not so great, unfortunately, when it came to Bryce Harper, Nick Castellanos, as well as Kyle Schwarber, who, yes, has been red hot. Today took a little bit of a day off, but a 1 for 12 in the first three batters in the Phillies lineup tonight. 1 for 12 with a combined 5 strikeouts. Not ideal, to say the absolute least. So we'll break it down as we always do on the postcast here. We'll talk about that. We'll talk about Taijuan Walker, how he looked in this particular start. I gotta say, not terrible. Not awful, not hideously ugly, gross, but actually okay. I'll take back-to-back starts where Taijuan Walker has looked like a guy who is not going to implode on the mound. Now, when it came to the bullpen, surprisingly, Taijuan Walker was okay. Gregory Soto was okay. Actually, dare I say good? And then, oh my goodness gracious, Jose Ruiz. That was not great. That was obviously not great. So let's jump into it all, as we always do when we started off with three big things, ladies and gentlemen. Here you go. Number one, can I please, for the love of all that is holy and sacred, not get Santander to play in Game 3 tomorrow? Is it possible that a guy who now has 3 home runs in the first 2 games of this series, none of them cheapies, I think the shortest one he hit was 424 feet, so if he could go ahead and not play tomorrow, that would be wonderful. But I got to tip my cap to him. He took huge advantage of every single Phillies mistake that was made to him while he was in the batter's box today. First and foremost, he goes up there with the Phillies up 2-0 in the fourth inning, to tie the game at 1-1. He got the home run, 424 feet to right center field on a 1-1 pitch, a splitter that unfortunately was just hung up there, had no life on it, no movement on it. Taijuan Walker just grooved it right down the chute, and Santander was able to take care of the business and blast it out of the park at 424 feet. Then he said, you know what? Why only hit 1 home run in the game when 2 is so much more fun? When the Phillies were already struggling in the game, it's still close, but the Phillies struggling there pitching-wise. Jose Ruiz comes on to pitch in his second inning. He had 1 up down. He came in to get out of Gregory Soto's inning there in the 7th inning, and he got Mountcastle to strike out on a fastball. He comes back out in the 8th inning. Ruiz is up there still. He gives up the single to O'Hearn, then Santander. Oh, they had the little hidden ball trick. Oh, that was cute. They tried it. It didn't work. And then Santander came up there and hit the 425-foot home run down the right field line on a curveball that just, you talk about getting every inch of the plate. You couldn't have somehow with a computer put it more perfectly down the middle of the plate. Like, it was just a laser down the middle of the plate, and it was a laser as it left the stadium. I thought maybe it hit the warehouse. It was about only 40 feet short of the warehouse. So it was quite a blast. And then you blink and it's 5-2 in favor of the Baltimore Orioles at that point. And the Phillies just kept on struggling. That was a rough one. But yeah, if we could not see him again tomorrow, that'd be wonderful. But of course, you're going to see him tomorrow, unfortunately. Number 2, I am beyond frustrated. I don't understand what world this is okay. Now, Kyle Schwarber, I understand, and I mentioned top 3 guys in the order combined to go 1 for 12 with 5 strikeouts in this afternoon's ballgame. I get it. All right, that's going to happen. But what can't happen, and this is not revisionist history, this is what I've been saying. You can't have Kyle Schwarber as your leadoff hitter and then Nick Castellanos batting second behind him. Both those guys are going to be swinging for the fences every single time. Schwarber can get away with it. At least he's got a track record. Nick Castellanos only has a track record of great inconsistency. And you're talking about a guy on Kyle Schwarber who has been hot. It is June. Historically, he's really locked in this month. I don't need to tell you what you already know. But when it comes to Nick Castellanos, I watched his first 3 at-bats in the ball game today. First 3 at-bats. 3 pitches. First 3 at-bats. Swings at the first pitch on every single one. The only difference was in his 3rd at-bat of the game, he actually, I don't even want to give him the benefit of the doubt and say that he even worked an at-bat. He saw 4 pitches in the 6th inning. Whoa! Still resulted in a strikeout, but hold on while I do a cartwheel over the fact that Nick Castellanos saw more than 1 pitch in his at-bat. Look, I am not the guy that bangs the drum constantly when it comes to, you can't swing at the first pitch, never swing at the first pitch. You want to take the first pitch. I ain't that guy, okay? But when you're Nick Castellanos and your sole reason for being is to go up there and hack at the first pitch, guess who knows that? The opposing pitcher. Do you think you're going to get a nice, big, fat, juicy meatball over the middle of the plate every single time? It ain't going to happen. They're going to use that to their advantage, not to your advantage. You're going to be over-aggressive at the plate each and every time. You're going to see off-speed stuff, and guess what you're going to do? You're going to miss it more often than not. It doesn't make any sense to me. Look, the Kyle Schwarber thing, I was just having this conversation earlier today. The Kyle Schwarber thing with him as a leadoff hitter, the only stat that truly matters, okay? You want to get into analytics? This is the only thing that really matters. There's W's and there's L's, okay? Kyle Schwarber gets you a lot of W's, not so many L's when he's leading off. That's the only thing that truly matters. Does it make a lot of sense? No. But when he's leading off, the team wins ball games. Nick Castellanos batting second makes me not having Trey Turner in the lineup has been comfort. I've been comforted by the play of Edmundo Sosa. I have been comforted by the play of Edmundo Sosa. They tried bumping him up there to the 2 spot. It didn't work out so great for him, unfortunately. So now, all right, what are we going to do now that we, Brandon Marsh is just coming back. Trey Turner's going to be back soon. What are we going to do with that 2 spot? Bryce and Stott. Then you have the back-to-back lefties to lead off the game. What are you going to do? For me, it is well worth having Bryce and Stott bat up in the order to not have Nick Castellanos bat up in the order. It makes 0 sense to me. And I watch him go up there and he just looks, he has a plan. Go up there and hack. It's a terrible plan. It's an awful plan. And I would very much love and appreciate, first off, Trey Turner to just be healthy. Second, in the event that there's another, God forbid, setback or something happens, that Nick Castellanos just doesn't bat second again. You can't have Schwarber and then Castellanos leading off the game for you. If you're going to have one, you can't have the other. And I think it's pretty obvious which the other is. And you can't have Castellanos top of the order. Uncomfortable with bats. You even see Kyle Schwarber go up there today, ground out the first in his first at bat. Actually took a couple of pitches. Didn't he go up there flailing as you normally do? Castellanos flailing. A lot of flailing going on. So I'd very much appreciate him not going up there and batting second anymore. So let's cross our fingers that you do see Trey Turner back in the lineup as early as tomorrow, as early as Monday, when they start up at home again. Let's hope for that. Number 3. I'd really hate to do this because I feel like the guy has done a really good job for the Phillies this year. Jose Ruiz, though, whatever he was supposed to have, he didn't have. Whatever he was supposed to have going for the Phillies, I don't know if it's a situation where it was the up-down that got to him, because I know a lot of, all of Major League Baseball is terrified about the up-down. Can't have an up-down. Once you sit him down, you can't bring him back up every single time. They're uncomfortable. He looked bad. First off, he got the out in the 7th inning, which was great. Sat down, came back, comes back out for the 8th inning, gives up the single, gives up the home run, gets Westberg to ground out to short. Mullins goes up there, grounds out to first. Then Hayes gets the swinging bunt. Urias gets the single to center field. Henderson gets the single to center field as well. and they got the one more run after that. So in total, 3 runs coming across the plate in that inning. Excuse me, 4 runs coming across the plate in that. No, 3 runs coming across the plate in that inning. It was bad. And Ruiz just didn't look like the normal, calm, cool guy that he has been out there on the mound all season long for the Phillies. And I guess this is going to be the handoff that we've seen so many times with the offense. Now, what is Gregory Soto going to get hot? And then Jose Ruiz starts being terrible? What? I can't take that. How about just everyone just gets back to being awesome? I'd love to see that again. But I don't know if that's going to be the case in the very near future. Now, here's what it sets up. And this is what's interesting. And I'll get into more of this a little bit later when we talk about, the last segment of the show when we talk about, where they're headed or what's next for the Phillies. But this is far too important to push to the third segment of the program. So I'm going to get into it right now. If you're like me, you really hate when your team is doing really well. Like, you don't even have to be a Phillies fan. You just have to be a fan of sports. When your team's doing really well, okay? And somebody says to you, yeah, but who are they beating? It's like, well, the teams that they've played. Yeah, but who have they beaten? It's funny you say that. They beat the teams that they played. Yeah, but who are they beaten? Well, like everyone, they get a schedule before the year, and then they beat the teams that were on the schedule, and that's who they have beaten. Yeah, but who have they beat? I understand what you're saying. You think you're sounding like a brilliant human by saying that they don't play the Dodgers every weekend, or they don't play the Orioles every weekend, or they don't play the Yankees every week. Every single game. You can't just play those teams. You got to play everybody, okay? You're playing one of the best teams in baseball. One of the best teams in baseball, and the Philadelphia Phillies is playing one of the best teams in baseball in the Baltimore Orioles. That's why we even talked about this after last night's 11-inning affair, following the 1 hour and 11-minute rain delay, and then Alec Bohm putting the Phillies in front for good in that game at the top of the 11th inning. We talked about it last night after the game and in the postcast when we talked about how, these are 2 of the best teams in baseball going at it. This could be a World Series preview. Now this is a pivotal game tomorrow afternoon at 1:35. This is going to be a huge game for people such as myself that really enjoy the loud minority that enjoy telling you, yeah, but who have they beaten? You take 2 or 3 from the Baltimore Orioles, there is no disputing that you have beaten somebody. Phillies are obviously going to need Kyle Schwarber on top of his game tomorrow. The Phillies are going to have, oh, God, please have Trey Turner back. It's probably not going to happen, but, oh, man, I'd love to hear it. I'd love to see it. Just so you can see Nick Castellanos bump back down to the 6-hole, 5-hole, maybe. That's what I'd love to see. Alec Bohm hitting. Kyle Schwarber hitting again, like he did in game 1, like they both did in game 1 of this series. That would be a fantastic thing. To see 5 hits in the last 2 games for Alec Bohm, as I've told you many times, you see that batting average just before this game, before this series, just continue to dip and continue to dip and continue to go down. For him to have those 5 hits over these last 2 games is ginormous. And to see a guy like Kyle Schwarber hopefully get right back on track tomorrow, you get those 2 guys swinging good bats for you in this lineup, you're going to win games. And that's what we're all going to be waiting for tomorrow, when the Phillies go at it in game 3 against the Orioles. And again, that's tomorrow afternoon at 1:35. And we'll see how the Phillies are able to bounce back after, really, if I had to use one word to describe this, lifeless certainly comes to mind. Harper didn't look like he had that same gusto tonight. Castellanos was god-awful. Bohm had a couple of hits, which was great. Sosa came up and got a home run for you, which was great as well. But after the 4th inning, not too many opportunities for the Phillies to really make something happen. When you take a look at the box score for the Phillies tonight, 0 for 5 with runners in scoring position. The Bohm RBI double was a slicer, hit to center field that just kept going away from Mullins there in center field for the Orioles and just kept on going into the gap. Harper was on his horse the entire time with 2 outs. So he scores from first on the play. Bohm takes second. That was great. And then Sosa steps up with a solo home run to help the Phils out as well, to give him a 2-0 lead. Taijuan Walker looked all right. We'll get into his start a little bit more coming up in a second. But really, I look at Walker having an okay start. Not great, but okay. And I'll take okay right now with Taijuan Walker. And yeah, the bullpen, unfortunately, when it came to Jose Ruiz and the bats, both those parts of the Phillies game can't go ice cold, unfortunately, at the same time. And that's exactly how this game ended. We'll take a closer look at Taijuan Walker's night coming up in a second. You're Locked On Phillies postcast on the Locked On Phillies YouTube channel. Locked On Phillies Locked On Sports Philadelphia YouTube channel, that is. Back in a second. You guys, you might know, you should have your taxes done already, right? But as many of you already know, when it comes to tax season, is it ever really over? No, because collection season follows right after. Just because tax season is over doesn't mean you just let it off your mind. The IRS can garnish your wages, levy your bank accounts, and even seize your property. Don't let the IRS target you. Let the licensed professionals and tax experts at Tax Network USA go to bat for you. I've told you guys before, I had my own personal drama some years ago, starting out in the business. Oh, my goodness gracious, having so many employers, so many paychecks. The people I was trusting with my taxes didn't do such a great job, so I no longer use them. But I was able to use a baseball term, limit the damage, fortunately, thanks to the great people at Tax Network USA. With over 14 years of experience and an A+ rating by the Better Business Bureau, Tax Network USA has saved their clients over $1 billion in tax debt. Whether you owe taxes, have complicated matters such as complicated matters like I did that require tax planning, or finally hit that parlay, congratulations first and foremost. But if you need help making sure that you correctly file your taxes, call 1-800-549-1000. That's 1-800-549-1000, or visit tnusa.com/locked-on. That's tnusa.com/locked-on. See the link in the episode description and below, and make sure you trust the people that I've trusted, tnusa.com/locked-on. Before I get into our chat check and see what you guys are saying about this game this evening, we will look at Taijuan Walker's start. Overall, the line, you see it up there, 5 2/3, 3 runs, all earned, 6 hits, 2 walks, 4 strikeouts, 1 home run to Santander, unfortunately. 92 pitches. ERA's at 5.33 now on the season. Overall, I wasn't hating on Taijuan Walker. Had a good first inning, a 1-2-3 inning. In the second inning, gave up the walk to Santander after getting just a 2-pitch out to O'Hearn. So then you get Westberg up there. He lines out to center field on a great diving catch by Johan Rojas. Mullins then gets the single to right field. So now you got 2 runners on, but he's able to find his way out of it by getting that liner, that comebacker right off the bat of Krausner, right back at him for a cool, calm, collected out there by Taijuan Walker. Third inning, he ran into a little bit of trouble. It limited the damage to 1 run. Stott, unfortunately, couldn't handle. This was an odd play. Urias leads off with the single. Henderson gets the infield single to Bryson Stott. Stott lets it go off the mitt. He corrals it. He's able to save a run. But then later, Rushman comes up, hits the sac fly to right field. Henderson goes to second. They charge Castellanos with an error. I want to see on the box score whether or not they kept him on that error, because it had been, I believe, over 400 games Nick Castellanos had without committing an error. But he makes a awful throw from right field to home. They're able to advance the runner in that situation on that throw because it was so terrible. And then Mountcastle ends up grounding out to short. O'Hearn grounds out to short, and they're out of the inning. So there was a little bit more of an issue in that inning with 2 runners on, nobody out. They get the first out on the Rushman sac fly, RBI to right field. Henderson takes second, Urias scores on the play, and then Castellanos gets charged with the error. And looking at the box score after the game, they still kept him with that error. His first on the season, first in 400 games for Nick Castellanos. Is that right? Either way, that was some trouble there where the defense didn't give him much help there in the third inning, other than Stott keeping the ball in the infield to prevent that run. Run ended up scoring anyway. Then in the fourth inning, just a 1-1 splitter to Anthony Santander. He got the home run, 424 feet. It was then a 2-2 ball game. Fifth inning, pretty easy for the most part. For Taijuan Walker, you got Urias to strike out on a high sweeper and a 6-pitch at bat. Then Henderson goes up there, strikes out on a sinker, and then Rushman grounds out to short to end that inning. So a very easy 1-2-3 inning, fifth inning there for Taijuan Walker. He starts up the sixth inning. He's at 71 pitches, gives up the single to Mountcastle on 1 pitch. At this point, I'm already thinking, get somebody up. Topper, get somebody up. O'Hearn gets a single, so now you got back-to-back singles. Mountcastle is able to take third on that one. It's a first and third, nobody out situation. Santander because who else comes up with the RBI sac fly to center field? It's a 3-2 ball game now in favor of the Orioles. Westberg flies out to right field. Mullins works a walk. At that point, they take Walker out. They bring in Soto. Soto gets Hayes, a pinch hitter in this situation, to strike out on a slider. To say it was in the dirt is being kind. That slider was dead and buried 6 feet under the dirt for years before Hayes even offered at it, and he did, and he got the strikeout. So fine by me. Gets out of the inning. Then you go into the 7th inning. Soto's pitching to Urias, gets the strikeout on the slider. Henderson goes down on a comeback grounder to Soto. Rushman goes up there, works a walk. Soto goes out. Ruiz comes in. Mountcastle strikes out to get out of the rest of the way there. But Taijuan Walker and Gregory Soto, for the most part today, more of that, please. More of that. We're ordering more of that as much as humanly possible. Please and thank you. Before I go any further, let me jump into the chat check and see how you guys are doing on this fine evening. IBH, good afternoon, everyone. We really need to find a way to get the mojo back. This is starting to get a little bit depressing. Ooh. Yeah, so, they win this game, and everyone's feeling fantastic because you have it locked in where you have taken 2 of 3 from the Orioles. And you're right back to feeling good, baby. Christopher Michael, what's going on? Phillies look weak the last week plus. The bats are so cold. Nicky no. The amount of nicknames we have. Nicky no hits. Christopher, that's my latest favorite. Nicky no hits. We got Nicky 3 buttons. We got Nicky no hits. What am I missing? Another one there. Nicky 2 times to strike out 2 times a game. Is that it? Nicky 2 times. There we had him at. I can't remember. Nicky no hits, can't bat second. Put Sosa there. Sosa was up there. He did not have a. I give him more at bats. The hell with it. Give him more at bats. Maybe not now that you're going to be getting Trey Turner back, but Nick Castellanos, like tomorrow, for instance, if Trey Turner's not in the lineup, Edmundo Sosa, please and thank you. Ari, welcome back, bud. What's up, Ari? Hey, Mark. All the great dads. Oh, that's very nice. Happy Father's Day to you too, Ari. There's truly no greater feeling than the love and gratitude of a 5-year-old who freaks the F out because he can't have a second cupcake. There you go. Really gave me a cliffhanger there. Can't have a second. Oh, God, what does he want to get? Oh, a cupcake. Yeah. Well, I act the same way when I can't have a second cupcake, although very rarely do I ever deny myself the second cupcake because, somebody made it. It'd be rude not to have 2. If you only have 1, they don't think you liked it. You have 2. It's, oh, hey, you really liked it. No, don't be rude. Eat the second cupcake. Unless your son's watching, then don't eat the second cupcake. And yeah, sorry. Happy Father's Day to you too, brother. The Knicks situation, says Matt Forstater. The Knicks situation is an embarrassment for the Phillies and Rob Thompson. I imagine maybe Topper is an evil genius who is hoping Nick will get. We never root for injury. All right. No, we're not doing that. I thought the 2 spot was for your best hitter. Well, 3, really. That's the other thing. Like a guy who's hitting 2 at least has to have an on-base percentage. Like, that's one of the reasons I won't freak out about Kyle Schwarber as your leadoff. Well, a couple of reasons. 1, yes, you win games. 2, his on-base percentage is really good. And 3, he hits home runs. So I want somebody that can be that prolific hitting home runs to get as many plate appearances as possible. So that's why I don't have a huge problem with it. Farzy can't fetch the bar. How are you, Farzy? It's time to start looking to trade deadline for an outfielder that can hit and an extra bullpen piece. I am on board with both those things. The Yankees are a wagon if we can make it to the World Series. I am fully on board with all that. Also, when Thompson uses Strum, Hoffman, Alvarado, Kirkering, Sir Anthony in Game 1, he's old Mother Hubbard with only the Ruiz and Soto in the cupboard. That's true. Very true. Spurger King, what's going on? Spurger King? I don't know. Phillies do not pitch to Santander. Phillies, do not pitch to Santander. I second that motion. Don't pitch to him. Don't. Just Thompson, Topper, just wave the 4 fingers. Just let them. Just keep going. Just you can have it. As long as we don't got to face you anymore, we'll be just fine and dandy. All right, we'll get into tomorrow's matchup with the Phillies taking on the Orioles. and hopefully being able to lock up 2 of 3 in this very important series. Phillies 47-23 now on the year. They're back at it tomorrow to take on this Orioles ball club. What a matchup it will be tomorrow. We'll get into that when we come back. You are Locked On Sports Philadelphia's YouTube channel, Locked On Phillies Postcast. Back in a few. You wonderful people, the fun. We're talking about the Game Time app for a long time now. The Game Time app is where it's at. My favorite thing about the Game Time app, if you want to buy tickets, not just to a game, Orioles and Phillies, for instance, you go to a concert, comedy show, Rolling Stones were just in Philly. Game Time app is where it is at. Download the Game Time app to your phone. Create an account. Use promo code LOCKEDONMLB. That's LOCKEDONMLB for $20 off your first purchase. Priority last-minute deals save up to 60% off buying last minute for sports, concerts, comedy, and theater. Flash ticket deals also save even more when you have exclusive in-app deals on select seats ahead of the game or the event. They also have zone deals, save even more when you choose a section, and let Game Time choose the seats for mega huge Kajunga savings. Now, this is one of my favorite things. Seat previews. You could view a panoramic view of your seat before you buy it, so you know exactly what you're getting, and all-in pricing. So you see the total going up and up as you buy more tickets. And guess what? That price it goes up to is the price. The price is the price, okay? When you go to check out. No sticker shock when you go check out. How these $30 tickets become $40? What the heck did that happen? It doesn't happen on the Game Time app. Take the guesswork out of buying tickets and be with the great people of the Game Time app. Download the app, create an account, use promo code LOCKEDONMLB for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account, use the redemption code Locked On MLB for $20 off your first purchase. Download the Game Time app today. Last minute tickets, lowest price guaranteed. Your Philadelphia Phillies, ladies and gentlemen, are back at it tomorrow afternoon, 1:35 in the very South Philadelphia park named Baltimore's Camden Yards. It's very South Philly, down I-95, obviously. The 46-24 Baltimore Orioles take on the 47-23 Philadelphia Phillies. For the Orioles, Corbin Burnes gets the start, 7-2 on the season with a 2.08 ERA. Corbin Burnes, 7 innings, 5 hits, 2 runs, neither one of them earned in his last start against the Tampa Bay Rays. And then previous to that, 7 innings. His last 3 starts, he's gone 7 innings in all of them. He's allowed a combined 1 earned run. So I'm going to use my mom's favorite phrase in baseball. He's due. He's due. But except I'm going to apply it like this. He's due to suck tomorrow at baseball. At throwing baseballs. Let's hope that's the case at least. Corbin Burnes, like I said, gets the start for the Phillies. For the Orioles. Zach Wheeler will get the start for the Phils, looking to get exactly what he did the last time he was out there, which was get the Phillies a win. I will say the last couple of times the Phillies have faced Corbin Burnes, it's been interesting. Corbin Burnes tossed 8 scoreless against the Phillies back on July 20th of last year. That was as a member of the Brew Crew. And that didn't go so great. Wait, hold on a second. Yeah, I think, as a member of the Brewers. So that unfortunately did not go great for the Phillies. He has had their number. There were no patience. I remember that. I remember in that last start, no patience. 8 innings, 2 hits. He held the Phillies to 8 innings, 2 hits, 1 walk, struck out 10, and threw 100 pitches. That's called efficiency, kids. That's called efficiency. So hopefully none of that tomorrow. Hopefully the Phillies have his number. You know what I'm saying? If I could really ever hope, just hope and pray for a regular season win, it's this one. Just because you got to take 2 or 3 from the Orioles. Otherwise, who have you beaten people will be pounding their chest all the live long day, and I just can't. I just can't even right now. You know what I'm saying? So win this game, Phils. Be motivated. Go out there and handle the business. My name is Mark Farzetta. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. You have been Locked On Phillies postcast on the Locked On Sports Philadelphia YouTube channel. We did get over 400 subs in this new channel, so make sure you guys like and subscribe to Locked On Sports Philadelphia's YouTube channel. Connor Thomas, we're breaking down the Phillies for you all week long on the Locked On Phillies podcast on the Locked On Sports Philadelphia YouTube channel, so make sure you guys check that out, and I'll be back with you guys tomorrow afternoon. Hopefully after the Phillies take it. Just take it to Corbin Burns and the O's tomorrow. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Like and subscribe to the Locked On Sports Philadelphia YouTube channel. See you guys tomorrow. Bye.